Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about innate immunity. Immunity is derived from Latin word immunis, which means free from burden. In this case, burden refers to disease caused by microorganisms or their toxic products or maybe foreign invaders. Therefore, immunity is defined as the state of resistance or insusceptibility to disease caused by particular microorganisms or their toxic products. For example, some individuals having genetic deficiency of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase are resistant to malaria. Such individuals are said to be immune to plasmodium. So broadly, there are two types of immunity: innate or natural immunity. Then second one is acquired immunity or adaptive immunity. So here are some terminology, some basic terminology terms of innate immunity. So self, first one is self. Self refers to particles such as proteins and other molecules that are patrol or made by your body. They can be found circulating in your blood or attached to different tissues. Something that is self should not be targeted or destroyed by the immune system, destroyed by our own immune system. Okay, the non-reactivity of the immune system to self particles is called tolerance. Then non-self. Non-self refers to particles that are not made by our body. So basically they are recognized as potentially harmful. These are some types like called foreign bodies, foreign invaders. Non-cell particles or bodies can be bacteria, viruses, parasite, pollen, dust, toxic chemicals. The non-cell particles and foreign bodies that are infectious or pathogenic like bacteria, viruses and parasite make proteins called antigens that allow the human body to know that they intend to cause damage. Antigens. Antigens are anything that causes an immune response. Antigens can be entirely pathogens like bacteria, viruses, fungi and parasite, or smaller proteins that pathogens express. Antigens basically like a name tag for each pathogen that announce the pathogen's presence to your immune system. Some pathogens are general whereas others are very specific. A general antigen would announce I'm dangerous, where a specific antigen would announce I'm bacteria that will cause an infection in your gastrointestinal tract. Cytokines are molecules that are used for cell signaling, cell to cell communication, cell to cell interaction. And the chemokines are a type of cytokines that are released by infected cells. Innate immune system. The innate immune system is made of defenses against infection that can be activated immediately once a pathogen attacks. The innate immune system is essentially made up of barriers that aim to keep viruses, bacteria, parasites, and other foreign particles out of our body. Basically, the innate immune system includes physical barriers such as skin, gastrointestinal tract, the respiratory tract, nasopharynx, cilia, eyelashes, and other body hairs. Defense mechanisms such as mucus, bile, gastric acid, saliva, tears, and sweat. So whether we get a cut, whether we get a damage to our skin, then so the defense mechanisms and physical barriers got weakens, so that the outer foreign particles, outer foreign viruses, bacteria can easily enter into our body. General immune responses. General immune responses such as inflammation. So this inflammation basically refers to a swelling in our body, then like some redness, pain. These are undergoes the inflammation. And the complement. So the complement system basically contains proteins, so also known as complementary proteins, complement proteins. And the non-specific cellular responses means innate immunity is always non-specific. So these are we have to know about the cellular responses and humoral responses. They undergo to the innate immunity. The inflammatory response actively brings immune cells to the site of infection by increasing blood flow to the area. Complement is an immune response that marks pathogens for destruction and makes holes in the cell membrane of the pathogen. Basically, they marked the foreign particles, foreign viruses, bacteria for the phagocytosis process. Phagocytosis is the engulf and destroy the cell, the outer foreign cells that are non-self cells. To destroy phagocytosis acts as to destroy the non-self cells. Cells of innate immune system. So basically the cells of innate immune system, also known as the cell mediated immune system or cellular system. There are many types of white blood cells or leukocytes that work to defend and protect the body, the human body, against the foreign particles. In order to patrol the entire body, leukocytes travel by the way of the circulatory system, the blood circulation. Okay. The following cells are the leukocytes of the innate immune system. Phagocytes or phagocytic cells. Phagocytes means eating cells. They act as to engulf and to destroy the foreign cells, which describe what role phagocytes play in the immune response. So basically phagocytes circulate throughout all over the body through the blood circulation system. Okay. You can think of phagocytosis as a security guards on patrol. Macrophages, commonly abbreviated as ME5, are efficient phagocytic cells that can leave the circulatory system by moving across the walls of capillary vessels. The ability to roam outside of the circulatory system, that is blood circulation system, is very important because it allows macrophages to hunt pathogens with less limits. Macrophages can also release cytokines in order to signal and recruit other cells to an area with pathogens. Mast cells. Mast cells are found in mucous membranes and connective tissues and are very important for wound healing and defense against the pathogens via the inflammatory response. So when the mast cells are activated, they release cytokines and granules that contain chemical molecules, okay, so which are toxic to the foreign particles. So basically mast cells alerts the other cells like neutrophils and macrophages to make their way to the area of infection or to be alert for circulating threats. Neutrophils. Neutrophils are phagocytic cells that are also classified as granulocytes because they contain granules in their cytoplasm. These granules are very toxic to the bacteria and fungi and cause them to stop proliferating or die in contact. Eosinophils. So these are granulocytes target multicellular parasites. So they release toxic proteins that kill the or damage the unnecessary tissue or cells. Basophils are also granulocytes likely to the eosinophils and mast cells. The natural killer cells and dendritic cells are very useful for the innate immune system process because they act as to alert or to prevent the other cells to enter to our body by alerting all other cells, all other immune cells to our body. And when they are alert, they may be release some chemicals called cytokine and chemokines. So when they release the cytokine chemicals, the other cells alert themselves and they ran towards the direction of the foreign particles or the alerting direction. They ran towards that direction so that they can prevent the other cells to enter to our body or to damage or to weaken the other cells or the foreign cells. Although the natural killer cells do not attack the pathogens directly, but it kills, it destroys the infected host cells. So as for the dendritic cells, it gives signal by the chemicals or by damaging the cells and converting the cells into short pieces, then to display some sort of cells, some part of cells, and to display some part of the foreign cells to outside of the dendritic cells, so that the other cells can get the signal, other cells can alert themselves and run toward the directions and kill the other foreign cells. Complement system, also known as complement cascade, is a mechanism that complements other aspects of the immune response. The complement cascade have following steps: opsonization, chemotaxis, cell lysis, and agglutination. So in opsonization, the process in which foreign particles are marked for the phagocytosis to kill or to destroy the foreign cells. In chemotaxis is the attraction and movement of macrophages to a chemical signal. So chemotaxis uses cytokines to attract macrophages neutrophils to the site of infection. So basically it improves the likelihood that threads would be destroyed and the infection will be treated. Cell lysis. Lysis is the breaking down or destruction of the membrane of a cell. So basically it acts as to weaken the pathogens and their ability to proliferate and helps to stop the spread of infection. Then the agglutination uses antibodies to cluster and to bind pathogens together, much like cowboy rounds off his cattle. But when some are not binding together, some are not clustering together, the innate immunity then continues to attack other cells, other foreign cells throughout the body by the blood circulation system. So basically innate immunity acts up to when the macrophages and dendritic cells give signal to the T cells and B cells, that are the specific cells. Specific cells are not comes under the innate immunity system or innate immunity. They comes under the adaptive immunity. Adaptive means they are specific, they are adapt to the environment, adapt to the body. So the adaptive immunity knows which are the specific cells and which they have to kill through the help of the antibody. So the antibody develops by the when the T cells gets the signal from the innate immunity cells like macrophages and dendritic cells. T cells then alerts the B cells and B cells makes the antibody for killing the antigens or the foreign particles or foreign bacteria. The complement system acts both with the innate immunity and the adaptive immunity. So its summary is: immunity is a defense mechanism which protects our body against foreign particles. Immunity are two types: innate and adaptive. Immune cell system are made up of cells and proteins. Innate immunity is of course a fast response process, but it doesn't mean it is long lasting. Okay. These are some white blood cells and leukocytes of innate immunity. So hope you all understand this topic. Thank you so much and wait for another topic.